Any superhero fans out here? Please raise your hands. So, whenever I hear superhero music, I actually get goosebumps. And you can totally imagine the scene, right? Aliens ripping through a wormhole into the sky, monsters the size of buildings destroying cities. And just when all hope is lost, you look up and you see a superhero. And then that awesome superhero landing. I'll just do it and show you. So it always excites me, right? And just like that, the day is saved. But in reality, there are no aliens and no monsters. The world, thankfully, is a safe place. But in our lives, we often face challenges, right? Challenges like financial struggles, health issues, the stress of not knowing what to do with your life. And if you are a student, you have other issues like the stress of placements, exams, assignments, and the constant distraction and comparisons on social media. So these are our monsters, right? Raise your hands. How many of you feel that you're fighting your monsters every single day? See, we all have our own battles. And I guess most of you are thinking right now, who is this nobody? Who called him on TEDx? So let me introduce myself to you. My name is Amit Agarwal. I'm an entrepreneur who runs 3 companies in logistics, warehousing, and real estate. And last year, I wrote my book, Unlock Your Inner Superhero. And I can see some of you back there Googling my name. Go ahead and do that. You won't be disappointed. You'll actually find a million Amit Agarwals, just not me. So the reality is, you don't need to be extraordinary to say that you've defied odds. You, me, well, we all have done that, right? But the main question is, why are they so overwhelming? Why do they feel so tough? And the idea is that each one of us has our own superhero moments. I had mine too. It was March 24th, 2020, when I sat glued to the TV with my family, watching Pradhan Mantri Modi ji declare a 3-week nationwide lockdown. And although we knew that it was coming, our heart sank because the whole world was shutting down. And then I got this call from the vice president of logistics of a large pharmaceutical and FMCG company. The urgency in his voice was evident. He said, Amit, we have oxygen cylinders, life-saving drugs, medicines that need to be moved to pharmaceutical companies and hospitals across the country. Lives are at stake. My heart sank. I said, sir, it's impossible. My team is locked up in their homes. My trucks are stranded God knows where across the country. My warehouses are shut. And my drivers, they've all left for their hometowns, fearing the worst. There was a long silence. And then came the line that changed my entire life. He said, Amit, is there at least something you can do? Is there at least something you can do? There is always something that you can do, right? Because no matter the odds, no matter how big your challenges might feel, there is always something that you can do. So that line became my mantra. And I picked up my phone. I called up everyone I knew, my team, my drivers, and I pleaded them to come back to work. And some of them did. And just as my first truck started to roll, the phones kept ringing. One after the other, it was more clients wanting to help, wanting to supply oxygen cylinders, medicines, disinfectants across the country. But the path was not so easy. Every step of the way, we faced challenges. How do you arrange food for the drivers when the dhabas are closed? How do you repair trucks if the workshops are not working? How do you arrange funds when my team can't even reach the banks? And how do you arrange permissions from the respective authorities to open the warehouses? But every time we faced an issue, we asked this one question: what is the least that you can do? And the path became clearer. What started as a 3-week lockdown extended to 6 months. And for 6 months, me and my team worked tirelessly, 7 days a week, day and night. And in that process, we helped save countless lives. That was a superhero moment. Not because we wore capes, but because ordinary people facing extraordinary odds decided to stand together and say, I won't let this beat me. That's perseverance. But COVID wasn't the only time that I defied odds. I clearly remember the time when I had to shut down my company for 6 months due to an illegal union strike. That day, When I sat in my office, looking at those empty chairs, the sound of silence deafening my ears, in an office that once buzzed with activity, I felt like a failure. I felt like a loser. I thought that everything I'd ever created till that day had been completely destroyed. But I didn't give up. I said, I won't let this beat me. And brick by brick, client by client, I built it back all up. That's perseverance. There was also this time when I had to pack my bags with my family and leave Mumbai overnight because of a personal issue. Leaving behind my childhood, my memories, my birthplace, my contacts, and landing up into a new city like Delhi, not knowing what to do next. But again, I said, I will not let this beat me. And I rebuilt my life again. That's perseverance. And even today, standing in front of you, I'm defying an odd. I have never been on a stage before, and here I am giving my first TEDx talk. How cool is that, right? Thank you. Now that actually is one of my bucket list. Audience applause, check. So yeah, thank you. So the idea is that you will keep facing odds, just like me. The question is, why do they feel so overwhelming? Why do they feel scary like monsters and aliens? Why is it so tough? The answer is your own mindset, your own brain. Why? The brain was programmed and designed for just one thing, for survival. And rightly so. Millions of years ago, when humans first walked the earth, there was threats everywhere. Forests, weather, animals, even other humans. So, the brain had just one job, to survive, to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable. And rest everything was put on autopilot. But millions of years later, now those threats have disappeared. But our brain, it's still stuck in that autopilot mode. It tells you, why take risks? Be in your comfort zone. Your brain on autopilot, it's like your carefree, chill friend, we all have that. How many of you have that carefree, chill friend over here? Can anyone give me a name? Anyone? So I'll take Bablu, okay? So here's how it plays out. Your carefree friend Bablu is your mind on autopilot. You set an alarm for 6 a.m. in the morning, hoping to wake up and hit the gym. The alarm rings and Bablu shows up. He says, it's so cozy and warm under the blanket. Why don't you hit the snooze button and go to sleep? Or the time when you're doing an assignment and Bablu says, hey, Netflix has got that new episode of the series that we were watching. Let's watch that instead. Or the classic, whenever you sit down to worry about your life and career choices, Bablu shows up and he says, why worry, yaar? It's all okay. Let's party. This is your brain tricking you. That's your brain on autopilot. And then there are these two bad words that I absolutely hate, which are right here. There are these two bad words that I absolutely hate. I hope you can understand these. Every time I tell a friend, you look like a potato, why don't you hit a gym? Get in shape. These two bad words are thrown at me. All the time when I told a friend, I read this amazing book and it changed my life. Why don't you read it? Again, the same answer. All the time I told someone, you are so talented and hardworking. Why do you slog in your job all day? Start your own company. Again, this answer. How many of you have used these two bad words in your life daily? Don't be shy. Really? See? I have to. When people ask me, Amit, how come you're giving advice and lectures all the time? If you're so good at it, why don't you write your own book and prove that you know something? This is exactly what I told them. I'll try. Yes, the answer was I'll try, not what you were thinking. I'll try is the biggest lie your brain will ever tell you. Because when you say I'll try, there is no commitment, no obligation, no accountability. That means no action and no result. That is what I'll try means. Do or do not. There is no try, said Yoda of Star Wars fame. So you guess you know that I'm a superhero fan. Yeah. Thank you. So the idea is, I will never let you beat your odds. And that is exactly what happened with me for 4 long years. I held this lie with me. I kept telling myself, I will write this book. I will try to write this book. But nothing happened. I even kept my scribbling pad right on top of my study table every single day to guilt trip me into writing that book, but nothing happened. It was only when I got fed up and changed my narrative from I'll try to I will when things started to happen. So once in March 24, I wrote those 3 lines in my book. I will finish my book by August 24. I will edit it by September 24 and I will publish it by October 24. That is when magic happened. Because that, my friends, is accountability, is commitment, it's obligation. That is action, and the result is last year on Diwali, my book got published. Thank you. And using the same I will, I am on my way to publishing my second book this year. We all need to change our narrative from I'll try to I will. Come on, say it with me. I will. I will. Louder. I will. I will. Thank you. Because I will help you to defy odds, not I'll try. But even when you say I will, it's still uncomfortable, right? It's stepping out of your comfort zone. So we all need a system to make us do the hard things. I have a system for myself. Would you like to hear? And that system is right here. BYO. No, it's not a typo. I bet some of you are thinking it should be BYOB. That means bring your own booze. No, it's not that. Although having a couple of drinks might make you feel like you have superpowers. You remember, aaj tera bhai gaddi chalayega. So no, it's not that. It is be your own parent. Ever wondered why it was so easy to do the hard things when you were children? Because our parents made us do it. Wash your hands before you eat. Put that phone down, go to sleep. Do your homework. And with that came rewards and punishments. Your reward could be your favorite toy, movies, vacations, your dessert, and punishments. I believe some of you remember the flying chappal, right? That was close. In my case, it was always no video games for a month. Can you believe it? Back in my days, there was no internet, no social media. So having no video games for a month was absolutely brutal. And if I had been given a chance, I'd take the flying chappal any day of the week. But that's the point, right? Now that we are all grown-ups, no parent is going to come you and pester you to do that assignment. Or any parent is going to ground you if you don't study for your exams. We have to be our own parents. We have to be tough with ourselves. We have to set our rewards and punishments. Because without rewards and punishments, I will dies. And so does perseverance. But even when you say I will, even when you become your own parent, still perseverance dies, right? We have all tried to persevere, but still our odd feels challenging, right? Because this one thing, without this one thing, you will never be able to defy odds. So let me tell you about it with a story. In a small village in India, there used to live a Fakir Baba. And whenever it didn't rain, the people would call the Fakir Baba, and the Fakir Baba would come and he would dance in his masti and joy, and it would rain. One year, the children said, "You don't need Fakir Baba. All he does is dances. We can also do that." So they put on some music and they started to dance. And they kept looking up at the sky, seeing no rain. They danced harder. But eventually they gave up. Villagers laughed. They said, "Go and call the Fakir Baba. He knows the secret." So the children went and the Fakir Baba came. And as usual, he danced in his masti and joy. And it rained. It poured. The children went to Fakir Baba and said, "Baba, we also danced, but it didn't rain. And when you did, it rained and it poured. What is the secret?" The Fakir Baba smiled and he leaned in and he slowly said, "बच्चों, मैं जब भी नाचता हूं तो ये सोच के नाचता हूं कि बारिश को होना ही होगा और मैं तब तक नाचूंगा जब तक बारिश हो नहीं जाती." Belief and perseverance. Belief and perseverance. That, my friends, is the secret sauce. Thank you. Belief and perseverance. That is the secret to defying all odds. The children danced, but they never believed in themselves. The Fakir Baba danced thinking that it will rain and I will keep dancing till it rains. But why am I telling you all of this? Not because my odds were bigger than yours. I am telling you this because the next time you face your odds, and boy, I'm sure you will, kindly remember that talent, luck, and superheroes are not going to save you. It is only going to save you by belief and perseverance. And maybe we don't need superheroes dropping from the sky. Because when you have belief and perseverance, you will realize that the superhero was always within you. So the next time you're facing your odds, you think your challenges are impossible and your back is against the wall, repeat this mantra with the Fakir Baba told the children. बारिश को होना ही होगा और मैं तब तक नाचूंगा जब तक बारिश हो नहीं जाती. Now once everyone with me. बारिश को होना ही होगा और मैं तब तक नाचूंगा जब तक बारिश हो नहीं जाती. Thank you.